Up on the defensive line, what do you make of this week's matchup with the Commanders?
Defensive line, who have all not only been drafted high, but have played at a very high level, who've gotten their foot in the door and then excelled when their foot's in the door. So for us, it'll be just a tremendous battle, as it is every week. But, I mean, not only do these guys compete, but they have the skill set of, they're elite football players. And we're going to have to bring our A game to compete in a hostile environment come Sunday.
You said it's a battle, as it is every week. Is this year different in terms of, does it seem different in the schedule-wise as far as facing real elite defensive lines?
I mean, you're going to find D linemen on every team that are tremendous football players. People ask me who's the hardest guy to play against is, and I say the guy who's in front of me. I mean, it's just this league. That being said, it does seem like there's a few weeks this year where we're just going against some studs. So we'll have to come and match that competitive edge.
Mitch, there's reports that it might be kind of rainy this weekend. What challenge, if any, does wet turf or grass kind of pose to the offensive line?
I think ball security for me, first and foremost, that is the name of the game in this league. You look at turnover margin, nothing dictates the game more than that. I think for like the way the game is going to flow, that's really dictated on game day. You can speculate what it's going to be, but you really can't know until you get out there and see what's going on. It does make for, mistakes are amplified and footing becomes a thing. So, potentially if it rains and stuff, we'll have to make sure that we're all wearing the right stuff to not set ourselves up for failure before we even get started.
Especially if it rains, running the ball becomes that much more important. What do you guys have to carry over from your performance against Las Vegas, against a strong defensive front, to be able to kind of replicate that sort of rushing performance?
Yeah, I think any week you want to have success in the run game, it has to come down to execution and communication. The communication first and foremost, understanding the game plan, and then just being able to ride the ebbs and flows of not only a game but a play, right? So these D linemen do a very good job of having a first move, reading runner pass, and then countering with a second move that's pretty unique for this team. They do a very good job of it. So for us, it'll just be staying engaged and just kind of competing. I think that's what the run game comes down to.
What does it do for you when you have running backs that bring different skill sets the way that your crew does and presents a challenge for the other team?
We are very fortunate to have the three guys we do. I mean, just even like Latavius, right? Like, to see him do this for this long, and the stuff you guys don't see is the dedication he's got. And then you got Damien, who is just I've been seeing him play against us for 4 years, beating really taking advantage of us. And then he comes here and you realize why he's so successful, which is that fiery competitive edge, and he's just a good teammate. And then James Cook, not only has he got the intangibles as a football player, but he really understands the game and understands how to run the football and understands how to take on tackles. So we are very fortunate as an offensive line to have guys that make us look a lot better than we are at times.
Mitch, what is just the continual benefit for a guy like Osiris to see so many good defensive fronts and kind of just continually getting tossed in the fire with the way he's been responding?
Yeah, you don't grow more as a football player than you do your rookie year. And I think you did kind of allude to the fact that your rookie year is inherently a baptism by fire. Not only through training camp, but then you have weeks where you play just absolute studs. So for him, he's learning a lot as a football player, and even these first few weeks, you see him growing. And I think the big thing for him will be understanding that this is a long season. There will be ebbs and flows and how you feel, and just mentally and physically on and off the field. So kind of finding a way to not ride the wave and come in as poised and as ready to work as you can throughout the weeks, and understand how to take care of your body as the year progresses.
What have you noticed about the other guy next to you, and Connor? You talk a lot about Osiris, but Connor's quietly seems like he's done a good job as well.
Connor is a professional. I mean, takes care of himself off the field. I think one thing about Connor is he takes coaching real well. The system I've said in the past, was not something that he was used to. Coach Kremer's techniques was something that was quite honestly polar opposite of what he had been doing before. So he's embraced that, he's understood that, and he's come in and competed with ferociousness, and it's just been really cool to see. The guys we understand we have a long way to go to be where we want to be, but we're taking steps in the right direction, and that is pretty cool. All right, appreciate.
Just one last one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we were still getting set up. Just in general, their front. I know you probably asked about it early on, but
Yeah.
what is it about them that makes them so difficult?
Well, I mean, not only physically are they dominant football players, they know how to play the game. They understand what an offense is trying to do. They're great at reading your block and then going into their secondary moves. Excellent with their hands. I'm speaking for the interior guy as well as the outside guys who are just physically imposing, big dudes who use power, and then when they're going to go power, then they might change it up on you if you're sitting on that bull rush all day. So they have the full gambit of moves, and they do it very well. Each one has their own spice, but they're just extraordinary football players who gel well together and play well together, and it'll be up to us to come out and compete.